I got 5 books that I quit with no regrets, and I got 5 books that I couldn't put down. Let's just get straight into it. Hi, my name is Princess, and this is where we judge books, not people. And today I'm doing my Q1 check-in. 5 books that I chose to DNF and why, and 5 plus a bonus books that absolutely delivered. First off, we have Son of the Morning by Aweke Amezi. Okay, so I DNF'd Son of the Morning simply because it was lust at first sight, and that's not really my cup of tea. No hate if it's yours. I just couldn't get into it when it's like the 4th chapter in and they're already going to town. It's like I need more of a backstory. I need more, character development. Who are these people? It's only been like 3 or 4 chapters. I don't even know, like what's going on. And it's like, boom, he's already on his knees. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's too much for me. And don't get me wrong, I love a spicy read. You know what I'm saying? I devour it. I am a horizontal refreshments reader, if you know what I'm saying. I love my spicy romances, but not in the beginning. Not in the beginning. I need to work up to that. I want the yearning. I want to beg for it. You know what I mean? Like, I want to yearn. I want to ache for it. I need you to tease me. I do. I need you to tease me. I need to be played with. Will they, won't they? When will it happen? All of these things. And so it was just too quick. It was just too much too soon. It was too sexy too soon. However, I do have a caveat. I really enjoyed Only for a Week. I think the whole premise was it's only for a week. It's going to be, wham bam, thank you ma'am, and I'm on to other chapters. I understood that. I didn't love it, the action too soon, but I understood it going in. This was just like, whoa, what are we doing? Like, what is happening? You don't even know him. Like not judging, but also judging, right? I didn't even finish the scene, if you know what I mean. I just couldn't. I left the book while he was in her. I left the book mid oral sensations. You just met. Make me beg. Make me want it. That's it. That's why I DNF'd it. No other reason. I don't know what happened in the middle. I didn't get to the middle. I don't know how it ends. I don't know. I DNF'd Son of the Morning. If you loved it, that's great. I heard good things about it. I just won't be continuing it. Next, we have When I Think of You by Maya Ariel. This has been on my TBR for a minute, and I've been putting it off for the reason why I DNF'd it. I don't think I like Hollywood stories like backdrops. The characters were fine, the romance was fine, everything was fine. I just didn't like the Hollywood industry background. He was a director. I think she's like a producer, I believe, or a writer, producer, something like that, for a movie in the Hollywood industry. And I don't know why, it just wasn't that interesting, that type of background. And when I read the synopsis a while ago, I was like, I really want to give it a chance, but it just doesn't sound that interesting, Like, cool, it's a love story, but I don't know, the Hollywood background just didn't appeal to me, even when I was reading the synopsis. And when I got into the book, it still didn't wow me. It still didn't make me care about their day-to-day life, right? Their jobs, their career, and what they're trying to build. I just didn't care. I just didn't. And not to say that it wasn't relatable, but it wasn't interesting. And that's my own preference. But again, the romance was good, their connection was really good, character development was good, the story and the plot was all fine. I just couldn't wrap my head around their day-to-day, trying to build a Hollywood movie and, all of that kind of stuff. It just didn't appeal to me. So yeah, DNF'd. This is gonna kind of break my heart because I think this is the only book of hers that I didn't like. Rebecca Seal, The Dinner List. I like most of her books. Her top books for me were In 5 Years and Expiration Dates. Really good books. The Dinner List, I don't know. It just wasn't what I wanted from her. It wasn't what I needed from her. This was like my first DNF for Rebecca Seal, and maybe I just assumed going into it that it was going to be an automatic good read because I loved all of her other stuff. I don't know, again, maybe I just had high expectations, and that's on me. But it was boring. It was so boring. Nothing interesting happened. I didn't even care about the plot. I didn't even care about the main character, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, this is my first Rebecca Seal book that I just didn't vibe with. Her latest one, once again, I read it a few weeks ago when it came out, sometime in March, I believe. And yeah, it was good. It was a Rebecca Seal book, you know, magical realism. Someone is always sick or dying. She does that very well. It was good. This wasn't. And yeah, I DNF'd it. I feel like I might ruffle some feathers with this one because this is a very TikTok-y, beloved romance book. If It Makes You Happy by Julia Olivia. Listen, I understand that this book is all about the vibes and not like that deep. And I get that, you know, it's supposed to give this like retro, nostalgic 90s Gilmore Girls fall situation. I get it, totally get it. And I was there for it. It was boring. It was so and I get it, it's supposed to be like a slow, cozy fall. I get it, I do. Maybe I read it in the wrong season, I don't know. But it just didn't give me 90s Gilmore Girls fall situation. I don't know, it just didn't vibe with me personally. I just didn't get the vibe. It didn't make me feel what I was supposed to feel. And I don't know if it's because I genuinely just don't like no, I do like cozy. I do. I just don't think this one was for me. It was a bit too slow. It was a bit too cozy. And sometimes I need a little more. You know what I'm saying? It was fine. It was just okay. But nothing kept me, you know, turning the pages. Nothing kept me going. And yeah, I DNF'd it. My last book is a DNF, but it's a soft DNF. I will come back to it soon or at some point. It's Us Against You by Frederick Bachman. Bachman. This is a soft DNF because it's good. It's really good. I actually really like his books. I read Beartown and it was really good. It was such a good book, and I can't really give too much about the synopsis because you can't really talk about his books without giving it away. So yeah, I had a really good time with Beartown. However, around the time I was getting into Us Against You, I was reading all of these other literary fiction. I do love a good lit fic, but I was also reading other heavy lit fic at the time. And getting into this book, it was just like, I need a break. I need a palate cleanser. I need to step away from the heaviness of this book. Again, I don't want to go too much into it because I'll literally give it away, but I have zero complaints about the series. I stopped halfway through. I got like 50% in, and I was just like, it's good, but my God, it's a heavy book. It is. It's sports in the background as like this like small town vibe, but underneath that, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and I can't give too much away. Like I said, his books are, you either have to read them or you don't, right? But there is no in-between synopsis for his books. And so, yeah, I don't know when I'm gonna get back into this book, but I've heard nothing but good things about, what's the third one called? Winners, I think? I heard nothing but good things, and I'm excited to finish the series. I'm pretty sure it's 3 books in this series. And so yeah, soft DNF, but I just couldn't I couldn't finish it. I had other deep, meaningful books that was dealing with the human condition and relationships and all of these things, and I just needed a break. But yeah, I highly recommend the entire series, even though I haven't read the whole series yet. But any book by Frederick Bachman is just gonna be really good, actually. Even if you don't like literary fiction, the way he writes makes it easy to digest and get into the story. And so yeah, highly recommend any of his book, and especially this series. So yes, Us Against You, Frederick Bachman, soft DNF. When will I get back to it? I don't know. Okay, now on to the books that I absolutely loved in this quarter. Starting off strong is Frederick Bachman, Beartown. This was really good. This was, I mean, I don't want to say I was surprised that it was good, but I'm surprised that what the book was about. Because if you know anything about his book, his synopsis don't give you anything about the story. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. What you think the book is about is not about that, okay? It is, it's deep, like most of his books are, in a very light way. He doesn't write heavy. He writes about heavy topics, but he writes not necessarily stream of consciousness, but things just kind of flow. And I like and dislike that. I might make a whole other video about my low-key beef with his writing style, but that's something separate. But anyway, I absolutely loved this book. This was a solid, I would say like a 4.5 for me. Beartown, really good. I immediately followed this up with Us Against You. It got a little too real and I had to back away for a second. That was my first top book that I read, I believe in January, if I'm not mistaken, and it started my year off great. Next, we have I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. This is a post-apocalyptic story followed by 39 women in like this underground bunker surrounded by guards who don't talk to them, they're silent, and it's narrated by the youngest prisoner. She's about 15 or 16 when the story starts out, and she has absolutely no memory of the world prior to her going into this underground bunker. Once they escape, they find a desolate, empty earth, and it's all about like their struggle to survive and form a new society and confront the meaning of like humanity, love, and trying to live in a world without men and the struggle to survive through friendship. I didn't know going into this book that this was actually going to be like a fantastic read. This was surprisingly a good read. I mean, I heard nothing but good things about it, but I didn't know it was going to be as deep and more meditative about humanity and, you know, what it means to be a part of a community, any community, right? And how we need each other, you know, even just like someone to talk to. You know, like we need human connection, and this book did a great job of what do personalities look like without someone to, you know, bounce ideas off of, and how do we grow and evolve as a human being without people to shape us in any particular kind of way. Not necessarily if it's the wrong type of shaping or the right type of shaping. It's more just about no type of evolving as a person with just being lonely. And I love that narrative. I don't think I've read anything quite like this, especially because throughout the book all she does is ask questions and getting absolutely no answers and dealing with that and sitting with that. I love that. She was still curious throughout her journey, throughout her decades of trying to live and still being curious and having the intellect to ask all these questions. Absolutely love this book. Yeah, 5 stars for me. This was one of the best books that I read this quarter. Yeah, I Who Have Never Known Men. Okay, so my next 3 books, I read all in the month of February. In 1 month. I had an amazing reading month in February. First up, we have I, Medusa by Ayana Gray. Such a good book. Such a good book. This was Greek mythology retelling, and I knew a little bit about Medusa. I mean, who doesn't? But this backstory, this feminist retelling So good, so good. And this is also in my February recap, so I'm not gonna go too much into it because I've already given like a full detail of like everything about this book. Also the other 3 books, I'm not gonna go too much into it because I've already did like a full debrief on all 3 of these. Yeah, a feminist retelling and her journey as to how she became Medusa. And sometimes, listen, sometimes someone pisses you off to a point now you're the monster. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's her story. And what a story. What a story. I believe this is from like a 17, 18-year-old perspective, and the betrayal that happened to her into becoming the monster that we all know and now love. This was absolutely a top contender Q1 books that I read. Such a good book, such a good reading, an amazing time. Hold You Down. Hold You Down by Tracy Brown. Look, didn't just talk about this book in my February recap. I also made some shorts bragging and boasting about how much I loved this book. I loved Hold You Down. This was the book for me. This is absolutely a 5-star. The only reason I kind of knocked it down from a 5-star to a 4.8 is because I'm a hater. Listen, the fact that it's categorized as a romance pisses me off. It pisses me off because it's literally not. It's not that, but that's neither here nor there, right? It's not a romance, but it is a fantastic book. It is, this book is amazing. A tearjerker, urban fiction, street lit, if you will, and an amazing story about these 2 sisters who are very different. The oldest sister is the responsible one, the younger sister is in the drug game, and the story just unfolds and it's just heartache. And this book still sits with me. It does. This book still is sitting. It's heavy. It's a heavy book, but it's such a good book. 4.8 because it's not a romance, but they want to tell you that it is when it's 100% not, but it is truly a 5-star read. Also a read from February, The Secret World of Maggie Gray. Listen, is this a literary masterpiece? No, it's not. This book is vibes. This book is laugh out loud, funny, it's giving culture, you know what I'm saying? When I was reading, and I read all 3 of these, I believe it's gonna be 4 books, but while I was reading this, and Secret World of Maggie Gray is the first book in the series, and while I was reading this, the entire time I was thinking, this would make like a Boondocks type of comic book TV show. You know what I mean? You know how like if you've ever seen the Boondocks, classic, first of all. But if you've ever seen the Boondocks, it was heavy on the culture and the funny and the key, but it had all of these undertones of cultural, relatable topics, and you can really see yourself in this anime. And I was here for it. I love the Boondocks, and I can absolutely see The Secret World of Maggie Gray being this type of anime. This is such a story. This is such a good read. Pure vibe, pure entertainment, pure entertainment. It's just entertaining. Zero complaints. Zero complaints on anything. The character development, the relationship between all of the 4 girls. It is a magical HBCU that no one knows about except for the people that get invited. And if you're invited, you have some type of fairy, you're a witch, you're a werewolf, you're something. And there's this historical vampire family that the main character is supposedly related to, and she didn't know about it. And it's such a good book. It's such a good book. I loved it so much. I can't wait to get into the 4th one. I don't know when the 4th book comes out, but excited all the way. I think I gave this one, the first book, like a 4 rating, a 4.3 rating, something like that. Such an entertaining read. Okay, I know I said 5 that I DNF'd and 5 that I loved, but I have 6. And this is my channel, I can do whatever I want, all right? So this is a bonus. So we have June in the Garden by Eleanor Wilde. So first I want to start by saying that the main character, June, is neurodivergent, OCD, and she has something that I didn't even know existed. It's RAD, reactive attachment disorder, and I had to look it up to figure out what it was. And so I'm gonna read you like the definition just in case you didn't know, because I had never heard of this type of disorder. And so it says, reactive attachment disorder, RAD, a rare but serious condition in infants and children who fail to form healthy emotional attachments with primary caregivers, often due to severe early neglect, abuse, and instability. Symptoms include persistent failure to seek comfort, emotional withdrawal, fearfulness, and irritability. Children with RAD usually diagnosed between 9 months and 5 years old. The severe neglect, basic emotional and physical needs for comfort, affection, and food are consistently ignored. Instability, frequent changes in caregivers such as foster care or orphans, caregiver issues, parents with severe mental health issues, substance abuse, or who are abusive. Long-term effects. If untreated, the lack of secure attachments can follow a child into adolescence and adulthood, resulting in severe relationship difficulties, difficulty reading others' emotions, and problems with emotional regulation. So that's just what the main character is going through, right? So June has that, RAD. In the beginning, again, no spoilers, her mom dies, and her social worker, she's in her early 20s, like 22, 23, something like that. But she can't take care of herself. She's not mentally and emotionally capable of functioning by herself. And so her social worker's like, hey, you can't be by yourself. I know you just lost your mom. Her dad was MIA, not in the picture. The social worker was like, we're gonna send you to this place. And she's like, nah, I don't wanna do that. So she runs away. She found some type of like document in her mom's belongings. And she's like, oh, this must be my dad. So she runs away at 22, 23. And she finds this man who is her dad. And she's like, hey, like, I'm your daughter. Hey, surprise. He has like a whole life, a wife, a teenage son. And he's just like, we can't deal with this right now. Like, go stay at a hotel and we'll figure something out later. That doesn't work out. And she ends up going back to his place, short-term living in their shed, in their backyard, without them knowing. She's just like looking into their back window and watching them be like a family. And she's struggling to emotionally understand, like, hey, maybe you shouldn't be living in their backyard. But also she can't recognize that's not normal. And her brother, who doesn't know about her, is like, hey, you're living in my backyard. You know, if you want some food, I can give you some. And so they form a relationship, a bond. And the whole story is just following this like neurodivergent person through her journey and trying to figure out what it means to be a part of a family, and rejection and love, someone to take care of you when you can't do it yourself. I was deeply surprised about how much I really love this story. It has cozy moments, but also it's cozy, but also literary fiction all in one. It has different moments for different chapters. Learning about different human conditions, it's interesting to me because it's like, oh wow, like human beings can hurt in all different sorts of ways, and I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know this was a condition, a disorder. You're really seeing her struggle through her mom's mental health issues and how she was the, I don't want to say the victim in her mom's mental health issues, but how her mom's mental health issues kind of shaped her, what she knows about being taken care of and being loved and treated a certain type of way, and the expectations for what that means. And her journey was tender and sad at moments, but good. It was a good book. I had such a good time with this read. I highly recommend this book if you are a curious reader about the human condition. Chef's kiss, completely. If you are truly interested in all of the different ways human beings can be messed up, this is a great read. If you want more interesting reading reviews about Medusa and Hold You Down and The Secret World of Maggie Gray, here is a link to my February wrap-up, which I highly recommend. My February reading wrap-up was so good. It was top. So it's here if you want more some good reads that I highly recommend. So yeah, those are the books I DNF'd, and I have zero regrets, and others that I'm still thinking about and absolutely loved and had such a good time with. Let me know in the comment section which books you regret finishing and which books you absolutely loved and couldn't put down. And that's it. That's my whole video. I made another one. Thank you for staying to the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, yay me. But I would really appreciate it if you liked and comment. That would be amazing. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. You are enough. Okay, thanks. Bye.